The fluorescent lights buzzed faintly in the cramped boardroom of DataPulse Solutions, a mid-sized cybersecurity firm nestled in the heart of Seattle's tech district. At 48, Elena Navarro sat across from her manager, Paul Grayson, and HR representative, Linda Cho. The air was heavy with the scent of stale coffee and corporate formality. Paul, his tie slightly askew, leaned forward, his tone laced with rehearsed sympathy. "Elena, after 12 years with DataPulse, we're making some structural changes," he began, his eyes darting to Linda for reinforcement. "Your role as lead systems architect is being realigned. The company's pivoting toward a more integrated, AI-driven framework." Linda slid a folder across the table, her expression a mask of professional neutrality. "Your contributions have been significant, but we're merging the systems architecture team into product ops. This folder outlines your severance package, 2 weeks per year of service, 6 months of health coverage, and career transition resources." Elena accepted the folder, her fingers steady as she traced its edge. She didn't open it. She didn't need to. She'd seen this coming for weeks, ever since an accidental CC on an internal memo revealed plans to streamline her department. "I understand," she said, her voice calm, almost serene. "These decisions are tough but necessary." Paul blinked, clearly expecting resistance. At her age, in an industry obsessed with fresh-faced coders, they'd anticipated a scene. Tears, perhaps, or indignation. Instead, Elena's composure unnerved them. "We'd like you to clear your desk by end-of-day Friday," Paul continued, regaining his stride. "Please return your badge, laptop, and company phone. Your team will be informed this afternoon." Her team. 4 brilliant engineers she'd hand-picked and trained, who'd helped her design the Secure Flow protocol, a cybersecurity framework now embedded in 60% of DataPulse's enterprise clients, including half the Fortune 1000. "Of course," Elena replied, standing. "Anything else?" Linda hesitated, then shook her head. "That's all. Thank you for being professional." As Elena walked back to her office, she passed the glass-walled executive suite where CEO Nathan Brooks was presenting to the board. His animated gestures accompanied a slide deck titled Q4 Growth Strategy. Nathan, who'd claimed credit for SecureFlow at last year's CyberSec Summit, had referred to Elena as a valued team contributor in his keynote. The memory stung, but she pushed it aside. In her office, Elena closed the door and pulled out her personal phone. She sent a single text. "It's done. Friday's my last day." The reply was instant. "Right on schedule. Contracts ready? Dinner tonight to finalize?" Elena smiled, glancing at her desk calendar. Today was Tuesday. By Monday, the game would change. That evening, she met Cassandra Lee at the Obsidian Room, a discreet waterfront restaurant far from DataPulse's downtown hub. As CEO of NexusGuard, DataPulse's fiercest rival, Cassandra valued privacy. She'd reserved a secluded booth hidden by velvet curtains. "They actually went through with it," Cassandra said, shaking her head as they settled in. "Sidelining the architect of their core tech? Nathan's arrogance is something else. He never grasped what SecureFlow really does," Elena replied, sipping her sparkling water. "He saw the shiny client demos, the revenue spikes, but the protocol's core? just tech stuff to him. The irony was exquisite. 6 months ago, Elena had discovered Datapulse's legal team had failed to file the patent for SecureFlow's core encryption module. When she'd raised the issue, they'd promised a quick fix, but their evasiveness raised red flags. Digging deeper, she found a buried memo outlining plans to reclassify SecureFlow as company developed with no named inventor, effectively erasing her contribution before pushing her out. What Datapulse didn't know was that Elena had spent nights and weekends refining the protocol on her personal laptop. Her enhancements, which boosted encryption efficiency by 38%, were developed outside company hours on her own equipment. Last month, with Cassandra's recommendation to a top IP lawyer, Elena had filed for a patent in her name. The approval came through swiftly, backed by meticulous logs proving the work was hers alone. Cassandra slid a folder across the table. "The contracts are ready. Sign these and Nexus Guard secures exclusive licensing rights to your patent. Our press release drops Monday, announcing you as our new Chief Technology Officer." Elena skimmed the documents. She knew the terms: a 6-figure signing bonus, equity in Nexus Guard, and royalties on all products using her protocol. "What do you think Nathan's reaction will be?" Cassandra asked, a glint in her eye. "I'm more worried about my team," Elena admitted. "They don't deserve to be blindsided." "Already handled," Cassandra said. "We've got senior roles lined up for all 4 with better pay. They just need to say yes." Elena signed the final page, sealing her future. "To new horizons," Cassandra toasted, raising her glass. "And to owning your worth," Elena added, clinking hers in return. Wednesday and Thursday were a whirlwind of exit meetings and farewells. Elena stayed professional, even as co-workers whispered and offered pitying looks. She documented every process, every code base, every key, knowing Datapulse would soon realize how much they'd underestimated her. Her thoroughness wasn't generosity, it was armor. Proof she'd acted in good faith while they hadn't. In her final HR meeting on Friday, Linda recited the standard script. "You understand that any intellectual property developed during your employment belongs to Datapulse? Anything developed on company time with company resources?" Elena clarified, signing the non-disclosure agreement with a flourish. "I've taken nothing that belongs to Datapulse." Linda didn't catch the nuance. As Elena packed her desk, a photo of her daughter, a stack of conference badges, a mug from her team inscribed Code Queen, Paul stopped by, feigning casualness. "Just checking everything's smooth for your exit," he said, eyeing her box. "Nathan says it's about staying agile, leaning into younger talent." Elena met his gaze. "Business is business," she said evenly. A flicker of doubt crossed his face, but he brushed it off. "Any plans?" he asked. "I start something new Monday," she replied. "A leadership role? Very exciting." He nodded, already distracted. "Good luck." As Elena left Datapulse's sleek headquarters, badge surrendered and box in hand, she glanced at the top-floor boardroom, lit for a late meeting. They were likely divvying up her duties among junior staff, oblivious to the storm coming. Monday morning, Elena arrived at Nexus Guard's waterfront campus in a tailored navy suit, ready for her first day as CTO. At 7 a.m., the press release went live. NexusGuard acquires exclusive rights to groundbreaking encryption protocol, welcomes creator Elena Navarro as Chief Technology Officer. It highlighted her role as SecureFlow's sole inventor and outlined NexusGuard's plans to integrate the protocol into their next-gen cybersecurity suite. Crucially, it noted that any company using the technology would need to license it from NexusGuard. By 9 a.m., Elena's phone buzzed with a text from Priya, her lead engineer. Pandemonium at DP. "What did you do?" Elena replied, "Check your personal email. Offers waiting for all four of you." At DataPulse, the Monday executive meeting had spiraled into chaos. Priya's texts painted a vivid picture. Nathan, red-faced, pacing as the general counsel and CFO briefed him on the press release. The legal team was scouring Elena's contract, pulling servers to check her work logs. The stock dipped 6% by mid-morning as investors reacted to the news. At 10 a.m., Nathan emailed her, "Elena, there seems to be a misunderstanding. Can we discuss urgently?" She forwarded it to NexusGuard's legal team without replying. By noon, the industry was abuzz. DataPulse's stock slid further, while NexusGuard's climbed 10%. Tech blogs clamored for interviews, calling Elena's move a masterstroke. Cassandra stopped by her office, grinning. "How's it feel to shake up the cybersecurity world?" "Vindicated," Elena said. "After years of being sidelined, finally being seen." Her assistant interrupted. "Nathan Brooks has called 3 times. Wants to talk. Tell him our legal team will discuss licensing terms later this week," Elena said, turning to her first meeting with NexusGuard's engineering team. By Tuesday, DataPulse's crisis deepened. SecureFlow underpinned their entire product line. Without licensing rights, they faced rebuilding from scratch, a multi-year, multi-million-dollar ordeal. Priya texted, "Nathan's holding an all-hands at 3. My last day here. We're all joining you at NexusGuard next week." "They're talking lawsuits." Elena forwarded the message to legal, who responded, "Your logs are airtight. Let them try." At NexusGuard, Elena thrived. Her team respected her expertise. Her ideas weren't dismissed or co-opted. By Friday, DataPulse's stock had plummeted 20%. And their lawyers reached out, proposing licensing talks. NexusGuard's terms were steep, triple the industry rate, and a public statement crediting Elena as SecureFlow's creator. "They'll choke on the credit more than the cost," Cassandra predicted. "Nathan's ego won't let him admit he lost you." "Then they'll rebuild," Elena said. "And we'll keep outpacing them." 3 months later, Elena stood at the Global Cybersecurity Summit, delivering the keynote to a packed auditorium. "I'm Elena Navarro, CTO of NexusGuard and creator of the SecureFlow protocol," she began, the applause warm and sustained. Her speech wove technical insights with a call for companies to value their innovators, not treat them as expendable. Backstage, young engineers approached her inspired. One, a recent grad, said, "I started logging my personal projects because of your story." "Smart move," Elena replied. "Protect your work. It's yours." A year after leaving DataPulse, Elena reviewed NexusGuard's annual report. Her protocol had powered 3 new products, capturing market share from DataPulse, whose stock still hadn't recovered. Cassandra brought champagne to her office. "We've overtaken DataPulse in valuation," she announced. "Your first anniversary gift." Elena raised her glass to valuing innovation and the people behind it. As they toasted, an email arrived from DataPulse's new CEO, a respectful offer to license SecureFlow with full acknowledgement of Elena's role. She smiled, forwarding it to Cassandra. The industry had learned its lesson. Her name was now inseparable from the protocol that had redefined cybersecurity.